You said that when you went to England, was it?
Yeah.
You recognized how Japanese you really were.
Hmm.
What were some of the changes that you noticed when you went there? So, or not changes, but differences culturally.
How people communicate and how people ve view life. Like things didn't seem as intense in the UK. People were really chill. Like they didn't take things seriously. They're more laid back. Like everything in Japan is like serious. Like everything is a big deal. They give life to everything. They give there's there's a hidden story to every single thing almost like you know what I mean. And but when I went to the UK, it was like, oh, like life isn't that serious. Like I can be more kind to myself. I can be more relaxed. And even how people communicate in Japan, you're taught to really listen to people. Like you really have to listen to people. If you're not listening to people, you're not a proper human kind of thing. You're not perfect. You're being disrespectful. So you're really taught to listen to people in school. But I feel like in the West, people are like listening a little bit and they're like, ah, yeah, 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 and they say what they want to say. They kind of throw in their own like things and like, so they kind of say what they want to say and people say what they want to say and that's how conversation flows. But in Japan, it's like I say one, they listen. It's like there's like a clear catchball. They call it in Japanese, catchball, 会話のキャッチボール or something. So there's like a clear. So you do feel like people are listening to you. It really does feel like that. But on the other side, you also have to be like, you know, listening, and you always have to. So, and not always, but in general, I think that's the differences I noticed. And even like food wise in Japan, like if you're not making a proper meal and if you're not eating properly, that's not a meal. That's not, you're not treating like you're not being a proper human. But in the UK, you can just have bread and something for dinner and like it's fine. It's dinner.
Hmm.
So,
So, do
yeah.
you think that for, like, let's say an average Japanese person traveling to another country, would they assume that if people aren't following those kind of rules of like intently listening or, cooking really good food or whatever it might be, would they perceive the other people as not being proper or
Yeah.
not being
Yeah.
like you said, proper humans?
Yeah, that's what they say here. Like they really think foreigners are lazy, and they
Mm,
they're really the word they use the word tekito. Like it's a very tekito is like they're like half in, half out. Like they're like, it's like, I think
okay.
that's okay. So they really view foreigners like in general, anywhere outside of Japan as like tekito. I'll give you the definition later.
But I'm assuming that, like, by the way that you're talking about this, I'm assuming that when you went to the UK, you didn't have that judgment of people there.
I think I did in the beginning when I first went to London in 2017 when I visited for the first time. I was like, what is this? Why is it so dirty? Why is everything like about to collapse? And I was like, oh my gosh, like thank God I'm from Japan. But I realized how much that was also affecting my mental health. Like I'm trying to be presentable all the time. I'm trying to be perfect. And then I went back to the UK in 2018. I really absorbed the culture. I was like, oh, I can also be relaxed. I can also be part of this. I can be also like laid back and like chill. Like I can cancel plans last minute and people won't judge me. So it was relieving. It was really like, oh wow, it's so much easier here. Like people judge you less. People judge you less.
Interesting. So, like, when you realize that it went both ways, of like, okay, maybe these other people aren't acting in the quote unquote proper way, but that also means that I don't have to. I can just do me and it's okay too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I learned to be that foreigner. Yeah.
So would you say that Japanese people are following these rules because they're like imposed on them more than they're accepting them themselves?
Um,
Because like if you go to a different country and then you go, oh wow, I can just live. This is good. It almost makes it sound like they weren't your rules. They were someone else's rules that they were pushing on you. And when you were in an environment where you didn't need to do that, you actually prefer not to follow them.
yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. You're correct. Yeah. And I think it applies to any Japanese person. I know a lot of Japanese people that move abroad and they they think there's like a lift, there's like a, there was, they feel like something lifted from their shoulder. Is that what you say? Yeah. There's like a constant pressure here. It's you have to be perfect, and so whenever they move abroad, a lot of people feel liberated when they move
Mm.
abroad. But at the same time, the other side is that you're also receiving something not so perfect when you're abroad, you know?
Yeah, like so what is the pro of a society that has higher expectations? What do you like on your day-to-day life in Japan? What are the benefits that you get from that?
No trash on the streets, nothing dirty. People are like generally polite to you. People they don't have that strong attitude. No, no like unnecessary conflicts. They're always like very proper, very mannered. They're like polite to you. They're not in your face. When you ask them to do something, they will actually do it. They will actually do it. People remember things. They're more sincere and loyal, and they really take things very seriously. If you ask somebody to do this, they will do it. Or if you make a promise, they will keep that promise. Or once you're friends forever kind of thing. It's when they're in, they're all in, you know. But the other side is that you also have to be that, and you have to be perfect, and you can't be laid back.